All right. Good evening, everybody. I wanted to bring this to you. I think it's very, very important what's going on with North Korea. So many times we have got totally distracted with Ukraine and Russia, China, and the powers that be. The main big players, as we all know, are China, Russia, Iran, India, and North Korea. North Korea is something to be very concerned about. What they have done, and they just put this out today, and I thought it was really important. They are starting an anti-U.S. joint struggle month. It started the end of June. It just came out today on European radio and Korean radio, and it's going until the end of July. I like how North Korea often says re-education program. They call it education program, but obviously we all know it is a re-education program. So good evening to everybody in the chat. I'm going to make this short, sweet tonight because we do have another show following this at 9 o'clock tonight. But I thought it was very important to bring this to each and every one of you. And for all of us to kind of step back and think about this. Myself and Dragonfly has talked about it. And at the end of this, I kind of want to show a little bit of what's going on in North Korea regarding food. And maybe we should pay special attention to these countries and what they're going through. I think that might be a fabulous idea. So the citizens, as you can see, are attending an anti-U.S. rally in North Korea. And what has came out is new propaganda, new information. They actually have got all kinds of flyers and posters and education. They actually have to attend 1 hour per day. It's an anti-U.S. struggle month, and it is to show greater hostility toward the U.S. in retaliation for what it says is the Biden's administration lack of interest in negotiating with North Korea. Now, when number 45 was there, we know that 2 times he went to North Korea and he could not seal the deal, but he did, in fact, calm things down. It is too bad that he could not push it forward to get a sealed deal, but it did not happen. Now, I may be buffering a little bit. It looks like we may have a storm coming in, or it may just be the wonky YouTube world. But as we look at this, I think it's so important to realize that North Korea, this could be the absolute worst thing that we could get ourselves into. I mean, honestly, North Korea, the United States just ran another missile launch, which drastically failed. This is 2 that have failed. They're trying to, the United States, we are trying to catch up with Russia and China, which is not happening. They already have the capability, which we don't. So that's really important to take into consideration. And now we have North Korea jumping in the game. Now, like I just stated, 2018 and then again in 2019, number 45 did go over there, was unable to shift and get North Korea into a deal to stop the nuclear situation. This month-long education project started on June 25th. It's the anniversary of the Korean War, and it's going to last until July 27th. It's the anniversary of the signing of the armistice that ended hostilities in the conflict. Many North Korean military are stating that they're kind of confused. 1 minute we're supposed to be nice, the next minute we're not. And here we go. They are saying that the United States is basically North Korea's main enemy, and that they're not going to take stuff from us. And that's what's being said. And I just wanted to let someone know about coffee. Yes, I got coffee. But look at this. Day for 1 hour, they have to go to an education program. They have to attend an anti-U.S. class during their mental education hours. Oh, mental education hours. This sounds like some re-education to me. They're held each day for about an hour. This is coming out of North Korea, out of their So join in on your class. This is what we're going to teach you, is to absolutely hate the United States and realize that the United States is the main enemy. So this is very, very interesting to this whole article. I was went from one article to the other regarding North Korea. I think that it's time, though, that we take heed and we kind of listen to what these other countries are saying. These new materials have been changed to use harsher language. They now call the U.S. an imperialist aggressor. The continent is intent. Source said the soldiers, hold it. The source said the soldiers are not happy with the government's flip-flopping on whether the U.S. is the number one enemy or not. Well, I think they're setting us up to be the number one enemy. I mean, that is exactly what they're doing. And this is what they're teaching their children, their adults, and their elders. And re-education program, this sounds like something that happened during World War II. Let's take people to a re-education camp. Let's re-educate to a thinking. Is that's kind of happening in the United States? Are we getting re-educated on what's right and what's wrong? Oh, have a drag queen show at your school. Oh, do this, do that. Get arrested if you're out preaching on the street. Yo, well, matter of fact, I think it possibly could be, folks. This is exactly what's happening in the United States as well as around the world. Look at this. Oh, previous materials made since the time of 2018 North Korea Singapore summit have used the softer term imperialism to describe the U.S. in order not to provoke them. But now they are just coming full force, and the U.S. is the big bad wolf, and they want their people and to be educated in the. I am bringing this article because I was like, North Korea is who we want to play with. It is not what we want to be involved in any way, shape, or form. Looks like I have a little bit of a lag. You'll have to deal with me. I hope I don't sound like a bot tonight. Yeah, the U.S. needs some re-education. We need something here. We need something going on because there is a total breakdown of society and around the world. It's a sad day, y'all. It really is a sad day. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is North Korea's food situation. And maybe we should think about this as a prepared community that when, let me see, we're not moving here. Oh, there we go. It's moving slow. Come on now. Now I'm spinning a little bit. It happens, folks. We just have to get through it. I don't know what y'all think, but I think North Korea is something that we should still bend over and obey. Oh well, simply Jan, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, but I'll tell you what, that's what happens in North Korea and China and other countries around the world, that you better bend over and you better obey and you better capitulate, because if you don't, you will be put in one of their formal re-education camps, which I'm sure are not very pretty, not in any way, shape, or form. Well, isn't that interesting? The food part of this video did not come up, but that's okay. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna try to buzz forward here a little bit and see if it's here or not. I don't think it doesn't look like it downloaded or something happened, but it's okay. So being in North Korea, it is a luxury, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to have a loaf of bread. And I was reading this article and I was like, this is absolutely sad. Let me read here what it says. So now that we've got to that part, hold on a minute. Let me get here. It's okay. Before I go on to the next one, it says that the coexistence is just an illusion and equivalent to death, and we must be armed with a high sense of ideological determination to fight against the United States, the second source said. But the officers and the soldiers come out of their mental education classes expressionless and with indifference, said the second source. The General Political Bureau is also telling all units to post up new propaganda signs bearing the slogan, "Destroy all U.S. imperialist aggressors, the absolute enemies of the Korean people in their barracks." By posting anti-U.S. slogans, which previously were only attached to combat equipment, they will more intently concentrate on hostility toward the United States. Now, on to the food section of North Korea. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, everybody should pay attention to this. In North Korea, a sack of flour separates the have and the have-nots. So I'm going to pop this screen down, folks. I think maybe we can get a better signal if I take off this green screen. And we all know that I'm sitting in a little cabin in the woods. But there we go. So if you have a sack of flour, you are the big have. And if you don't, you're a have-not. These days, it's the most prosperous households that can buy imported flour from the marketplace and make foods like bread and jjim. But now flour has become so scarce that it costs more than rice, ladies and gentlemen. And North Koreans are starting to equate eating bread or battered fried foods like savory jjim pancakes as a sign of wealth. A resident of Kim Jong-suk County in the northern province told RFA's Korean service on condition of anonymity for security reasons. They can't even talk about their food. I mean, oh, Lordy. A loaf of bread has become a status symbol in North Korea as prices for flour have increased so sharply that only the wealthiest citizens can afford it. This is coming in from the RFA. Flour in Kim Jong-suk County costs 4,000 to 4,600 won per kilogram, which is roughly 29 cents per pound in December 2019. Now it is 30,000 won per kilogram. So figure that out. When China and North Korea briefly restarted maritime and rail freight, it did drop down a little. But now that the borders are closed again, now it has rose to 18,000 won per kilogram. Ordinary residents can't even dare to buy flour because it's even pricier than rice. When the price of flour is more than 2 or 3 times that of rice, as it is now, bread and mandu dumplings suddenly become food that only the high-ranking officials and fabulously wealthy can afford to eat. So foods made with flour are now a symbol of wealth in North Korea. I would say that we, as Americans, need to realize that maybe we need to pay attention to what's going on in North Korea as our food chain falls apart in front of our faces, and we have hyperinflation and gas prices going up. Listen to this last part here. Flour had been a cheap ingredient to make snacks and fried dishes, less central to the North Korean diet, said a resident of Unsan County, north of the capital. Flour has become a deluxe ingredient that people use to show off when guests come over. But she also asked to stay anonymous due to retaliation. These days, it's the most prosperous household that can buy imported flour from the marketplace and actually make bread and jjim. Well, I would say that we need to pay attention what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. But think about what North Korea is saying. Off to the education camps, the U.S. is a hostile country, and they are our enemy. And we want all of our children and all of our young adults to know that as they threw signs out on the streets just in the capital city. Then on top of it, Think about the situation that's going on in the United States with food. Everybody better get prepped up for long term. You better quit dragging your feet. You better quit being complacent. And you better realize that as this situation escalates, I think that many people are forgetting that when this many major players are getting involved, if we really truly knew what the capabilities were, really honestly knew the capabilities of these other countries, I think that we all would be out in the streets petitioning. All of us would be out in the streets with a sign. All of us would be writing letters to the government. The government of the United States, this new administration, does not have our best interest at heart in any way, shape, or form. This is destruction from the inside, as we are now selling our F-35s to Turkey. As we have just approved, this current administration, I hate to say we're going to say current administration, has just approved another $800 million to Ukraine, to this nonsense that's going on over there. As the Long Beach port is backed up, and all of a sudden, though, Walmart stores are full to the brim. I think that we need to pay attention to what is really happening. We are having a food chain collapse. We are on the verge of World War III. China, Russia, and the United States are fighting for first place for missiles. The United States has failed drastically twice, folks. It's a harsh reality. We are not the superior big dog that we used to be. And swallow the pill and get over yourself. It's the facts. Protect your family. Protect what you have. Get your necessities. Get your water. Get your basics. Prepare for a long haul. Do not think that this is going to go away in a week or a month. This is expected, from statistically speaking, to go on at least till 2030. Isn't that interesting? Agenda 2030, and this chaos is going to go on till 2030. Very interesting how they play their deck of cards, and they've been playing it and playing it and playing it. But what's happening in North Korea is very concerning. And brief, I'm going to jump off here. We have a show at 9 o'clock to bring everybody back center and have a good time. But I will, if I see an article like this, which is very, very concerning, being prior military, and I think that it needs to come to the forefront and people need to think about what's going on. Yep. We sure could. With $800 million, we sure could fix a lot of things. But, well, we would probably education shows, some more indoctrination shows in our elementary school to teach kids strange, unusual things. I think it's very important to learn how to make hardtack. I think it's very important to learn how to make a basic bread to fill your stomach. I was brought up in Nebraska and Colorado, and every meal, because we had 6 children, we sat down with bread. We always had bread because it was a filler. So you want to think about these basics, folks, and you want to stop waiting. You want to stop just hanging out and thinking that everything is going to be hunky-dory. You're welcome, Red Dog. Glad everybody was here tonight. I hope to see you on the live at 9 o'clock where we can come back around center and have a good time. But I will not stop reporting things that I think are very, very important. And the North Korea situation and the video I just showed is very important. From our house here in the Ozarks to your home, wherever you're at, God bless you. Keep prepping. Keep doing the legwork, y'all. Do the legwork. Don't stop. Don't give in and don't give up. Walk in faith and not fear.
Does anyone have questions before you leave?
Does anybody have any? I probably missed a bunch of questions. I'll go back on another live. But God bless y'all. Happy 4th of July to you. And I hope to see you. We have a special co-host. Yes, Off the Wall Preppy is coming in tonight at 9 o'clock. So that being said, I need a cup of coffee and to finish eating my dinner. God bless you from here in the Ozarks. Big prepper hugs to each and every one of you. Keep doing the dang thing. Oh, yeah. could y'all do me one freaking thing on your way out?